When I was called the first time, it was quite intimidating. I learnt about opinion leaders and how important that was, and it gave me a whole new vision of what public affairs really meant. And I suddenly realized that I had to reach out to opinion leaders. It was quite intimidating, but knew that I was called of God, had to do that. And so one day we decided to visit one of the biggest newspapers in our country, a very influential chief editor. And I'd never done this before in that sense. And I went to visit him. I was well prepared. I took my courage and off I went to see him. And what I discovered was that he was just receptive and willing to meet us, and we had a great meeting, and as a consequence built a very strong relationship with him. And I realized after that interview and then later on how important the calling was, because I realized how important it was to the Lord. And he had opened the door. He made it possible for this relationship to develop. This editor went on to become a great friend of the church, and I went forth with faith. The doors opened, and because it's important to the Lord, it was important to me. And I also realized that by meeting with one person, that he could influence. In fact, his readers were over 1.5 million per day. And he wrote many times. In fact, he wrote a half-page feature article on the church very positively. And what hit me was that my calling wasn't to try and market the church to thousands of people, but to work with key opinion leaders, and by working with one at a time, that I could reach millions.